Hi, my name is Dari Drojaye. Welcome to this YouTube channel. Thank you for always logging in. God bless you. I am immensely blessed to have you. Please, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe, like, and share this video to your friends and loved ones. I believe they're going to be blessed by this message. Today, we are going to be talking about who is your nemesis. Question your mind, audit your thoughts. What is Nemesis? Nemesis is a long-standing opponent. Now, let me tell you a story. There was a rich man living in downtown called David Carl. He had two sons. The firstborn is called Simon, and the secondborn is called Kelvin. Simon worked with his father, but Kelvin was furious living under his father's care. So he summoned the courage to tell him what he had been thinking for a while. With fear, he went to his father's office. Give me my share of inheritance. I am young and vibrant. I can take care of myself. Without hesitation, the father divided his wealth between Simon and Kelvin. Simon collected his inheritance, even though he didn't ask for it, and never questioned his father. After Kelvin was able to sell the share of his properties and was able to cash out, he left his father's house. Without financial literacy, he spent all without a thought of investment. Afterwards, he looked for a job. He was employed to keep the swine section of the farm. Because the wage was excessively lower than the minimum wage, it resulted to eating the swine's food. After much thought, he decided to go back to his father and work as a servant, since the servants of his fathers are at least paid the minimum wage. There are three modes of thought that you need to understand before we expatiate on lessons from Kelvin. Number one, freedom mode. This type of thought of freedom mode is a liberated thinking, creativity, and exploration thinking. Survival mode, which is focused, instinctual thinking, prioritizing immediate needs. And we have the last one, desperate mode, which involves impulsive thinking, high stress thinking driven by urgency. Now, these are three modes of thoughts you need to understand. And what can we learn from Kelvin? Number one, he made three decisions to get his inheritance and spend it, to get a job, and then to go back to work as a servant in his father's house. Now, you need to understand that Kelvin had the opportunity of these three modes of thoughts. The freedom mode. What did he think about in his freedom mode? He thought of getting his inheritance and spending it. That was a thought he had in his freedom mode. Now, in the survival mode, the thought he had was to get a job. And then this desperate mode was to go back to his father and work as a servant. Now, you see that if you do not take care of your thoughts can either make you or mar you. His mind drove him out of his father's house. The same mind drove him back to his father's house. So a mind that is not questioned can be your nemesis, your long-standing opponent, because your mind can either make you or mar you. And that is why I am admonishing you to question your thoughts. Your thoughts should not be taken as the voice of God. You need to question your thought to make sure that you are observing or taking the right and the best step. In the freedom mode, when Kelvin was taking his decision, he had many choices, because in freedom mode, you have many positive choices to take. Many positive choices you can pick from. Now, for instance, during his freedom mode, Kelvin could have thought, why don't I work with my father, understand his business, and build my wealth? That is a thought pattern. On the other hand, he could have thought, get financial education and then get a loan from his father to start a business. That is another thought during the freedom mode. But guess what? He thought of getting his inheritance and spending it. Now, another thing he could have thought about if he questioned his mind, he could have thought of, how could I expand my father's business by starting another branch in another city? That could be another kind of thought pattern that he could follow. Kelvin did not question his mind. Kelvin did not audit his thought. And then his thought drove him out of his father's house. His same thought, the same mind, brought him back to his father's house. Why do you need to wait for your thoughts to mar you when you can question it and audit your thoughts in your freedom mode? In your freedom mode, when there is no urgency, when there's no desperation, when there is no survival mode. In your freedom mode, when you have the capacity to think over and over again. In your freedom mode, when there is no threat to your life. In your freedom mode, you can question your mind. And when you develop the ability to question your mind over and over again, then if you ever face a survival mode, you can choose the best option. If you ever face a desperate mode, you can choose the best option. So my challenge to you today is never take your thought as the voice of God. Question your mind. Audit your thoughts. Because most of the time, what we hear in our mind, because our mind most of the time is never quiet. It's always running with different thoughts you have heard from your childhood to your younger age, to your adult age, even to now that you went to work and came back and everything looks gloomy. So the mind is full of noise. You need to be able to sieve the best thoughts from your mind, because your mind could be your greatest asset and your mind could be your nemesis. But I don't want your mind to be your nemesis. That's why I'm challenging you today. Always question your thoughts, audit your mind, and make sure you are picking the best choice out of the choices that you have, because you have a choice every now and then. And someone said, not to decide is to decide, because choice is inevitable. So you need to make up your mind to question your mind and audit your thoughts every now and then in your freedom mode. Because if you do this over and over again, then you are able to equip your mind with picking the best option in any mode that you find yourself. Do not let your mind be your nemesis, because your mind is your greatest asset. I believe this has blessed you. Please subscribe, like, and share this video. Until I see you again, keep focusing on the bright side of life.